Yo, welcome to the Sports Bar Podcast. The SBP is in full effect. As always, I'm your boy Prime Source. Was good.
We in effect mode like I'll be sure for your pleasure. Yeah, we here. Let's hit. It's up. It's lit. Whatever y'all want to say. Let's go.
And do you find yourself being around I don't know how much you're around, younger folks, other than your daughters, right? I
Right.
work around a lot of younger folks. Like everybody, of course, is younger than I am that works for me. So they always hitting me with all these terms and these slang terms. And I find myself end up using them even when I ain't trying to use them, like without even thinking, because I hear it so much. You know what I'm saying? It's lit. You capping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pause. He over there caping. He over there caping for Justin Herbert, man. Blah blah. I'm like, and I end up saying it when I realize I'm
I use this lit on a regular basis.
caping
I do.
cap. Like
I do.
it's a
I
different.
like.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it is a difference. They hitting you with all types of like slang and stuff that you don't normally use, but a lot of times those things like end up like right there in your conversation. Good morning to everybody who is checking us out here on the SBP this morning. I hope everybody's morning is going well. We got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We got, of course, we're gonna touch on the Deion Sanders news because I know a lot of y'all want to do that. JB, what's good? Jonathan, what's good? We've got we're gonna touch on OBJ here for a quick second. And we're gonna spend a whole lot of time with that, but because we know that probably the biggest conversation is when that deal actually goes down. We're going to get real in depth with some of these matchups because there is a lot of good stuff going on today. You got Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is returning. Deshaun Watson is returning to the football field today, and the crazy thing is he's facing his old team. So that's gonna be crazy. AJ, what's good, my man? How you feeling today, bro? Are you still watching that Jamie Foxx clip? No doubt. D, what's going on? What's good? No doubt. Caesar, need the Jets and Cincinnati lose. Caesar, you going to church this morning? You already out? Like, I don't know. We got a lot of people in here this morning, man. Appreciate y'all jumping in with us, no doubt. No doubt. But yeah, man, you got no more slang terms for the people?
TikTok be capping. They say habitually wilding. They say hateful behavior on my TikTok lives.
Mm-hmm.
It happened again. It's happened twice this week.
They got you again?
Twice this week. It happened yesterday. I wasn't even on for 15 minutes. Just got into one song. Live suspended. I'm telling you, man, some Eminem people that when I said Eminem wasn't whatever, they got mad. And ever since then, it has been crazy. 5 times in the last 2 to 3 months. So that means it's 5 weeks that I couldn't go live in the last 2 to 3 months. Well, 4 really, because they shortened the last one.
Man, this mess is crazy. This mess, that's absolutely crazy. Appreciate all y'all jumping in, no doubt. Travis, what's good, my guy? Ivory, what's good? Hey, check this out. I'm gonna do you like the young folks be hitting me at work. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. So they always hit me, boss. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna do this lady straight, and I'm gonna take my lunch. So we ain't gonna hold y'all. We gonna get all up in the mix, and we got to go ahead and talk about the topic that has dominated social media. And we was gonna talk about it. 1, because that's my guy, but 2, because y'all got a whole lot of feelings and a whole lot to say about Coach Prime headed to Colorado to be the head coach and leaving Jackson State. And I'm going to buy some of y'all some tissues. I'm going to give some of y'all a glass of milk because the way I feel about it, I can't speak for Source, but the way I feel about it, some of y'all a bunch of crybabies. But Source, how you feel about
it? I am on the side of Prime being able to do what he wants to do. If he chooses to leave, I'm not sure why people are trying to hold him to a higher regard or a higher expectation than any other coach any other place for any other school. Now I know HBCUs are not any other school. I get it. I get the connection. I understand all that. But the fact that Prime was there for what, 3 years?
Couple years.
3 to 5 years. I don't even know the number. 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't expect that. That was not expected. The light that has been brought to the HBCU and the SWAC in particular, just from him being there, let alone winning on top of that, and his personality and the clips and the everything that Deion is, like, it's brought so much attention that the number one recruit in the country ended up coming to Jackson State. Like, what more do you want? To me, it feels like VCU fans, so HBCU people that believe it should stay, are like VCU fans when Shaka went to Texas. Like, why would you? Everything that you've been given just by his presence being there. So VCU, you got the new practice facility and all that, couple $1 million joint behind Siegel Center. Like, you got a lot of stuff. Yet when he chose to leave to make 8 to 10 times more than what he was making from VCU, you couldn't just appreciate what he did. You had to be like, oh, he's not this, he's not that, as opposed, and even be happy when he lost games in Texas to that level. So what, y'all gonna be like, oh, he should have stayed at the HBCU if he loses in Colorado? No, the opportunity's there. He's taking it. I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, and so somebody's in the comments, I'm gonna put it up here, mentioning something that I was gonna bring up anyway. He was never gonna stay. FSU was supposed to hire, but didn't agree with some of his keys. So we never found out exactly everything, but I can tell you this, because a lot of you folks out here can tell us your feelings about him leaving, and they leaving the kids and they brought all this, but they can't tell you facts, right? Correct. So I'm gonna break some of this stuff down for you. Some of you people out here crying need to realize that this man interviewed for at least 3 jobs before he went to Jackson State. TCU, Arkansas, and yes, Florida State, right? He interviewed for Florida State, and nobody wanted Prime more than me. Y'all know that's my favorite athlete of all time. You know I'm also an FSU guy. Thought he would have been a great hire. Deion also goes on to tell us, he told us back then, that one of the schools was ready to pull a trigger, asked him how soon could he start. Next thing you know, within hours or within the next day, they done hired somebody else. And being the graceful man that he is, he won't tell you which school that is. I hope that ain't my school, but it is what it is. So the plan was always to be at a major D1. A major D1 don't mean you got to be winning all the time, right? But a major D1 program. So let's not act like Deion just ran up in here, stayed for a little bit, and, forget y'all, I'm gone. That was his plan, right? He even says, in coaching, you get elevated or you get eliminated. And folks, oh, that's dumb. You just won. How you gonna get eliminated? Man, nothing forever. How do y'all know? Because the man that had a couple of successful football seasons at Jackson State, and the wheels don't fall off. That's because you're getting all these recruits. You don't know what's gonna happen. You mess around next year and go 5-5. And then y'all think I'm crazy. We've seen crazier stuff. People start to question certain things. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just need to pump y'all brakes, man. And what really teased me off about these people out here crying about Coach Prime is the fact that most of these people, especially the black ones, won't send their kids to an HBCU though when they out there and they got a chance to play, to play certain sports, right? But now y'all all butthurt. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't sitting there supporting it. I mean, yeah, you might send a little money into the HBCU. You might have went there, and you might want your kid to go. But for the most part, most of y'all ain't doing that. But you expect that man, since he started something good, to stay put. Man, all y'all need a cup of milk, man. Warm cup of milk.
Eddie Robinson Sr. ain't walking through that door. Eddie Robinson Jr. Now, if Eddie Robinson Jr. come back and say he ain't swag, I won't be mad at him. Why? Because he left. However, what he brought is worth more than what anybody else has been able to do in the time they're there. And I can appreciate being a lifer, but he don't have to be a lifer. He didn't sign up to be a lifer.
Yeah. Most of y'all done walked off of jobs before, right? Y'all done walked off of jobs and left a job. And a lot of times it's because the money. Now, Prime is telling us it ain't about the money. It was going to always be that way. Of course, I mean, getting that $5 million a year ain't going to hurt nothing, even with whatever you got to pay for the buyout to get out of that deal. But still, all of you, or a lot of you, have walked off or changed jobs because somebody else was paying. You was making 18 an hour, the people up the street paying 20 an hour or 22 an hour, right? In my profession, you know, a lot of people, y'all know what I do. I didn't have people leave me because they didn't find out McDonald's was paying these people 19 an hour. You know what I'm saying? At the time, before we upped our standards in my job. So what I'm saying is, don't act like, you know, Prime is one thing and then you guys are something different. Yeah, it's a different profession. People leave jobs all the time for what they feel a better position. Teachers leave. Just like Prime was there and he inspired the youth and got those kids to come in. Teachers inspire our youth, right? They don't always stay in the same spot. They move on to other grade levels or other schools and things. Stop trying to hold this man hostage, right? You know, like y'all better than everybody else, man. He's a man just like y'all. He's just more in the spotlight, and the man about to make some major coin, whether or not you like where he went to.
And add to that, my last point. Do you think that Jackson State, knowing exactly what would happen, do you think Jackson State says we'll take that deal before it happens, or does Jackson State say, nah, we don't want that? They're gonna say thank you, raise our visibility and our program, and leave. And I don't doubt that this conversation was had in the past. Look, you know, I mean, I don't know how long we'll be here, but I can stay, and I will bring what I bring. You will benefit that way. And when I leave, I leave. I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. And as far as the kids, look, I don't put nobody on blast. Like I've been father of the year, right? I think I'm a pretty good dad, but I'm not gonna say I'm a father of the year, right? But let's think about this. Y'all blaming Prime for getting the kids there and giving them that opportunity when they could have gone other places. First of all, coaches that sent them kids, yeah, you know, he coming to get you. If your coach didn't tell you that there's always the possibility of one of the greatest players to ever touch a football may only be there for a short time, then your coach has done you a disservice. Parents, most of you parents, a lot of you parents, I'm not saying everybody's parent was sports, we're into sports, right? But probably most of them were, right? If you didn't tell your kid, yeah, you know, that's a great opportunity Coach Prime is presenting you, but that's Deion Sanders. Do we know he gonna be there through your whole run? If you didn't tell your kid that, I'm sorry, you did your kid a disservice. You don't know that it was always the possibility that something like this could happen, right?
Of course.
You know, y'all miss me with that, man.
And this ain't 1997, yo. They can leave without no problem.
Yes.
They can leave without no problem, and they have the NIL deals. They can leave with no problem. There's no issue
all the time, Source.
There's no issue.
Leave all the time.
Yeah. So, what's the problem?
Yeah, I've seen a ton of D1 kids, or 5-star kids go somewhere, and then quietly end up not at that university anymore. And outside of the little fan base of that school, you don't hear nobody say nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing. Reminds me of my guy Jalen Woodbay, FSU. Followed the coaching staff over to FSU, and he left. Well, granted, his coach got fired, but then he left and he ended up finishing out at Boston College. Heck of a player. Oregon and everybody on the West Coast went all out for this kid. He quietly enough went on and got his degree. Kids leave all the time. Y'all leave these coaches alone, man.
Caesar got a question for you.
Caesar got a question for me. Is this Caesar right here?
Yep.
Mind your business. All right. Next up. But Caesar, we'll get into that another time. I did not choose that name. I was given that name. But we'll get into that another time, right? But yes, this happens to be my guy. But yeah, man, this is crazy. You talk about the kids leaving too. A lot of these kids are going to be able to leave. And he stated that he's going to have conversations with some of these kids. Don't go entering. He's not trying to leave the HBCU and their school high and dry. He's telling the schools, don't go hit the transfer portal. Let me talk to you, right? Now, granted, we know that some of those kids are going to follow him. He's going to have some black kids that ain't never been nowhere near no Colorado. They better be careful. Yeah, I said it. But you're going to follow this man to Colorado, right? Now, we don't know what Travis Hunter's going to do. I doubt Travis Hunter stays there, but then I could be wrong. I don't know if he follows Coach Prime to Colorado. You think about his sons, I think there's a good chance that his sons follow him. Again, I don't know what that means for his daughter. His daughter's on the basketball team this year, but following pops. But yeah, man, it's gonna be very interesting. And the last point I'll make about this is people talk about. I'm not acting like I'm right all the time, but did you read all the comments when I started posting about a week or so ago under these? The comments in the SBP about people just know he won't go in there?
No.
Oh, he ain't going there. He ain't said the third. Right, well, he went. we don't know what anybody's gonna do is the lesson to this, right? I never said that I thought that he would go there, but I never said that he wouldn't. Right?
Oh, hey, hold on, Prime. Caesar, you can't hear. Clearly you can't hear. That is not what that man said. Do not misquote. Look, we right here. Do not misquote us.
See, I thought you was going to church, man.
That is not what that man said.
Man, anyway.
And don't relax with this is in-house business. In-house business. Relax.
There goes Steve Mosley right there, my guy. All parties involved knew that this was temporary. That man gave up salary to get better lockers, better equipment. Had game day at a HBCU. Job done. Go get that bread. Most fire comment we didn't have in the SBP for a long time.
Is that Cuzzo?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead. I ain't gonna say nothing about the government. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Just keep on going.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Did he choose the right school? We don't know how this contract's going to be made up and what it would take for him to get out of it if something, better or something more to his liking comes along. We'll see. We will see when the contract get worked out. I will admit, though, when Cincinnati got on the radar, not that I'm a Cincinnati football fan, but I was kind of like, oh, okay. Man, I can see that.
Yeah.
You see that. And I kind of wish that he'd have chosen Cincinnati. I can see Prime, the type of exposure they get anyway in the teams that they play.
Oh, like success-wise.
Yeah.
With
Colorado, they got them, a big task ahead of them. Where they go to they just went 1-11, I believe.
Well, there's a positive there.
Yeah.
Because if y'all expect them to go 9-3 next year, then you already wrong. You're already wrong.
Yeah. That is true. So everybody talking about waiting to see what job was going to come up. You don't know that no job is going to come up or what the job is going to be. A lot of people, like we mentioned last week, didn't expect Mike Norvell to come out the box and go 9-3 at Florida State this year after the struggles that they had. So that man just bought him another season or two, right?
Couple of those.
But I can deal with it wherever the man felt like he wanted to go. And I know he's taking a whole lot of his coaches with him. And you got to, the way they recruit. That recruiting staff is top notch. Shout out to him, man. And I'll be watching Buffalo. It is what Colorado Buffaloes. I'll be watching. It is what it is.
The Buffaloes in Colorado. Dorian, what up? Kev, what up?
Moving on up like the Jeffersons. And also, though, we talking about who's SWAC, he ain't SWAC, but he still is SWAC for at least till December 17th, because they do play in the Celebration Bowl, and he told the kids and the organization that he's going to be there. He wants to finish it for that game, and they play North Carolina Central in that game out in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Well, Ninth Wonder and little brother cannot help them on the football field. So, good luck. Good luck.
Indeed. Next up, let's touch on this real quick. I guess we're going to have a whole lot more conversation about this particular topic once it actually happens. But there's a lot of talk on it. We mentioned it before. Looks like it's down to 3 teams: Dallas Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills, and the New York Giants, right? And a lot of y'all been running up, texting me, inboxing me, losing y'all mind about this. And I haven't given it a whole lot of thought because it's going to be what it's going to be. Y'all don't want him. Y'all going all crazy because the man had an airplane incident. Y'all don't know before y'all even know the entire story. That's why we ain't sign him. That's why this, that, and the third. But it is what it is, man. The only thing I'm going to say about it, I'm going to break it down so that if it ever be broken, y'all stop asking me about it until something happens, right? If Obi, for the folks, I will say, for all my brothers, and this ain't a diss, and y'all know, if I diss certain people in fellow Cowboy Nation, I don't give a damn, but this is really not a diss. But I'm seeing a lot of comments and where folks are saying that we don't need OBJ. And I would tell you, as presently constructed, I would agree. I'm fine with it because there's a lot of things that scared me about us getting him and what we already know about Kellen Moore, right? I just, on the flip side of it, though, as a Cowboy fan, any Cowboy fan in the chat, I want you to think about this. You already say we don't really have a number one receiver because a lot of y'all don't think that CeeDee Lamb is the number one receiver, right? What happened if something happened to CeeDee Lamb? Y'all really, really comfortable with Noah Brown and Michael Gallup? Y'all still, we them boys, we definitely going to the Super Bowl without this kid? Are we going to go back and look at another team that is snatched up, all things given if OBJ is healthy? Somebody that possibly could have helped and fill that void. So I just want y'all to think about that. I know it's a lot of ifs, but be ready for whatever happens because when they come at us, no matter what happens, y'all just be ready for it, right? But it is what it is. Where do you think he's going to end up, though, Source?
I don't know. A mental health facility? No, I'm just joking. I don't know where that man going. I have no idea. But as long as he's in the race to win a championship, he'll be a benefit to somebody wherever he goes.
I think everybody's so sure that he's going to end up in Dallas. I don't know that. I don't know how Buffalo isn't super intriguing to him. Because the Giants situation reports came out yesterday from I don't know if it was Ian Rappaport or somebody reported, a notable source saying that there's a lot of people that truly believe that he would like to go back to the New York Giants.
That sounds like some foolishness. But
well, they say that if you really believe, and we always talk about the family aspect, right? But that he is really close to certain members of his family in New York, plus some of the friendships that he's made. So that's what they say. But my thing is, if he doesn't go back to the Giants, I mean, Buffalo down the road, I think Buffalo is the best situation for him of the 3 teams that they are mentioning. But there's always the dark horse. I've wondered, and I think I know why, because you got to get his contract straight. But I always wondered about somebody like the Ravens, right? And maybe it's the money thing because they already got to pay Lamar. And now you find out that OBJ may be looking for a multi-year deal. So I don't know how that money works out and what you would pay him and still knowing you got to pay Lamar.
Hey, not only that, JB, somebody got to throw him the ball, right?
That's true.
Send that man to the Giants for.
Well, I mean,
better hand him the Jones like Debo. Better hand that Jones to him like Debo. Have him and Saquon sharing touches in the backfield. What?
Yeah, I thought the Ravens would be interesting of the teams not listed. Even thought about Captain Kirk and the Vikings. Because look, Thielen is not Thielen anymore. He give you some plays, but he ain't. I'm just saying. Then of course I kept saying it. Them and their super roster of I'm gonna go find a guy, the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Chiefs, but yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah, 87 receivers can't be wrong. Like you got to have everybody.
Indeed. What else we got today? Before we get into these picks. And we'll get into these picks, y'all. Today it's gonna be crazy because I promise you, this is if you've looked up and down the slate, this is probably the best week since the season started. If you look at the matchups, it is like absolutely crazy. But as we get into this week, we do have some business to take care of because something is happening today. And what's happening today is Deshaun Watson is returning to the NFL, right? And it's not a mixed emotions about this, not a mixed feelings about this. We even hearing that, of course, some of the ladies will be at the game that have accused them of certain things. But, so we don't want to make, kick that to the back. But we're here to talk about Deshaun Watson returning. And do you think that Deshaun Watson and the Browns can get on a run and possibly at least get a wild card?
Man, I ain't thinking about the Browns. I'm thinking about them ladies. What exactly is going to happen at this game? Are they just going to sit there and hold up signs? Like I saw a post where somebody was like, I don't know why they letting them in the game. How are you supposed to stop them? Like, you're going to stop them from going to a football game? But I don't understand how that's a thing. You can't stop them from going to a game. I'm just interested to see how much will they get backlash. And it's wild because the only reason everybody is leaning towards Deshaun Watson is because he can play football. I'm not saying all these ladies are right. I'm just saying there's a whole lot of ladies to be wrong. Okay. Anyway, Cleveland, yeah, if he can come out and be 2/3 of himself, Cleveland is a problem out the gate. Now, I don't know if they're making the playoffs, but he's going to be a problem out the gate. If he can be 2/3, 67% of himself on that field, especially with Chubb in the backfield, I think it will be a great look for Cleveland on the field.
They got a task ahead of them, bro. They got a task ahead of them because, now, granted, we had quarterbacks talk all the time. I was listening to Kurt Warner early this morning talk about when you're away from the game from a little bit, whether it's by, choice or injury or whatever, sometimes it takes you a little bit to come back to just get used to, the pocket presence, the speed of the game, things of that nature. It's not as easy as always. I'm just walking back up in here and I'm going to make things happen. But we talk about a guy whose best season was back in 2020, man, when he threw for 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 70% completion percentage. A lot of that, especially yards, was a league best. This is a guy who can actually sling it. And as we mentioned before, when you look at the things that he has to work with, the backs in the running game to help him out, the Amari Cooper has been great this year, especially at home. If they're going to make a run, they definitely got a lot of the tools to do it. The defense is actually not that bad. Got one of the best pass rushers in the game. But they got a task ahead of them. So they're sitting there in the north, and they have the Ravens and the Bengals are both 7-4 at this point. Then you got to worry about the Steelers sitting back at 4-7. They got a ways to go. So look at everybody else. So they would be competing against at least for a wild card spot. So let's just jump over to the West. So once you get past the division leading Chiefs, the next team would be the Chargers sitting there at 6-5, right? So we jump over to the East. You got the Dolphins and the Bills both sitting there atop of the division, right? But then you got the Jets sitting at 7-4. right? We're sitting there with 7 wins. That's going to be tough because they say the Jets don't win the division. I mean, you got a big jumble of teams right there in the East. You would have to go all the way over to the AFC South. So the Titans are 7-4, but everybody else is 4 wins or less. So a lot of things is going to have to happen. I don't think they could afford to drop any more games, maybe one this year. They have to play near perfect football and to get some help. But it's going to be fun watching them try.
Yeah, this ought to be interesting. One way or the other, it's going to be a combustible situation in general.
And he's playing against his own squad. You know he's trying to show out.
I know, right? What a week to come back.
You know he's trying to show out here in the mix. So we're going to have our eyes on that. The whole world, football world, will have their eyes on that one right there. So I guess the last thing at hand is to do what we do. This is the most fire slate source of games we've had that I can remember this entire season. Now, granted, we were a little happy about some of the early season matchups because we were happy because it was football. But this thing today, on this here day, December 4th, is off the chain with the matchups, man. So many playoff implications in this one, so many great matchups, team-wise, so many great matchups, possibly one-on-one, great quarterback matchups. It's crazy. So we're going to start this thing off with a very, very good one. One that my eyes got big when I saw this, especially with everything that's happened of late. The Jets and the Vikings. Jets coming off a victory over Chicago. Quarterback change. Quarterback looked really, really good. And the Vikings rebounded pretty well as well. This is going to be good, Source. I think in this game, I'm going to say it off top, not to be cliche, this is about turnovers to me.
Turnovers? We're talking about turnovers? This ought to be a good one. Who was quarterbacking the Jets this week?
White, Mike White.
It's okay. I'm just making sure. You never know. I mean, it's controversial situation. But yeah, the Jets sitting at 7-4. Who would have thunk it, bro? The Jets have been through some things this year, and yet they sit at 7-4. This is what the third. This is the third. Did Flacco start this year? Flacco started. This year.
Yeah. Remember we had the injury stuff start early, and
so they've had all 3 quarterbacks start in the first 11 games, and yet they still sit atop nothing. They sit at 7-4. You know how I feel about Kirk Cousins. I know how you feel about Kirk Cousins. We both appreciate him more than the average fan, I think. I do expect big things from Kirk Cousins, even though the Jets have a solid defense, and of course the secondary gets busy, Sauce and crew. But this is gonna be fun. I am just for the first time. Look, I was about to say that right now. This is the first time I've thought about the Jefferson and Sauce, or Sauce versus Jefferson matchup. That's gonna be fun. Does he follow? He's followed somebody before. He followed somebody earlier this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be good. Actually, that might be what this game is all about, right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're gonna be watching that matchup to see how much they does he follow Jefferson everywhere he goes, or
he better
certain packages or certain looks that they're going to give him. The Jets are going to have to go running back by committee. Michael Carter is out, so they're saying that you're going to see some Ty Johnson, some James Robinson, and Bam Knight all this week until they figure out. And that's what the game plan is supposed to be anyway. And the Jets now find themselves in third place, as I mentioned earlier, behind the Dolphins and the Bills. So the Jets really cannot afford a loss here. I think turnovers are going to be key, and that Jets front usually, most games this year have been really wrecking havoc. And can they get Kirk, give them a couple? They've been really good at stripping the ball. So Dalvin better wrap up in this one. But the thing is, when I was thinking about this though, with the Jets having to go running back by committee, Minnesota's been pretty darn good in their own right against the run. So the Jets better find somebody that can tote it and is told it to their liking, or somebody that can actually move the ball. I think either team could actually win this game, man. And even if your boy finds a way, or our guy Sauce finds a way to lock down JJ or keep him in check a little bit, I just think that this is a perfect day for Hockenson. Like, Hockenson is yet to have that big game since they acquired him, right? And anytime they want to start putting people in that box to try to stop Dalvin Cook, something's going to be there in a one-on-one matchup. And I like Kirk trying to get this man the ball. I think both quarterbacks are going to be under pressure today, and I think it's going to be a good one. But if you ask me, I don't know, but if there's ever been a time that I've picked against the Miami Dolphins, the Minnesota Vikings, since we've been doing this, I don't know if I've ever picked against the Minnesota Vikings. And I kind of want to today. Like, I kind of want to pick against them, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and take the Minnesota Vikings in this game, 22-17. But I really believe that this game is going to be a dogfight. And I think a game belongs to anybody. But I'm just going to stick with the Vikings 22-17.
I like the funkiness of that score right there. I got Minnesota 30-23. It's going to be fun. If only to see the matchup and how the Jets defend Jefferson, how they approach this thing. So 30-23 Minnesota for me.
Indeed. And Minnesota can clinch their division. Surprise, surprise. We've been saying that for a week. If they win and the Lions lose, like, we really worry about the Lions catching them, right?
Right. If the Lions lose, man, you might have a chance.
The Vikings have clinched the division already. In another game, which we didn't even have on the slate, but I actually am looking forward to 2 4-7 teams.
Right.
The Jags and Lions is
that junk will be
2 4-7 teams. That game could be just as good as any game we're gonna talk about today. So
yeah, that junk could be 30-something.
Indeed. Next up, a lot of eyes gonna be on this one, especially in the Sports Bar Podcast group.
All eyes on me.
The Commanders versus the Giants, who have a quarterback that you were just disrespecting a little while ago, going against another quarterback who's been on a hot streak lately. And even I, as a Cowboy fan, was saying, y'all better not remove this guy from your starting lineup. So that guy will be Taylor Heineke. What do you think about this game, bro?
Taylor Heineke. First of all, did you hear Michael Vick repeating what Saquon said to Jones?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he said that he called him Vanilla Vic in the huddle. Vanilla Vic. I was like,
come on,
and Michael Vick was like, he was appreciative of the comment. He thought it was funny. But yeah, I mean, you can't call him Vanilla Vic. You're not comparing his arm to Michael Vick. You're comparing his legs to Vic's, which is not even a comparison either. But that's closer. At least that's a closer thing. Because Jones can get down a little bit, unless he's running by himself 60 yards down the field, and then all bets are off. Washington, the bane of my existence. Did I tell you that my wife is a Washington fan?
Yep.
So that Monday night when they beat the Eagles, I'm on the sofa I'm on right now. She's to my right on the sofa, asleep the whole game. She woke up like 5 seconds after the game ended and sat up and said, she didn't say anything. She just started looking at me. How you gonna start looking at me? You asleep? Like, what are we doing here? She's like, I'm like, really? But anyway, yeah, for real. I like Washington's running game. I don't know. I think I was. I don't know if I was looking at it last week.
Yeah, Brian Robinson out here trucking people.
Right, they was out here wilding. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. How many touches did? So Robinson had. Let's see if it was. I don't know if it was the Houston game or the Atlanta game. Let's see, 15-18, and then Gibson had. Yeah, they had like 33 carries, 15 for Robinson and 18 for Gibson against Washington. I was like, bro, they pounding that rock. And with the belief that they have in Taylor Heineke, I don't know that it's true that anybody will play harder for anybody like in real life. But at least in their mind, it seems like, and in our minds, it seems like the team rallies behind Taylor Heineke. Again, I don't know that anybody plays worse if another quarterback is in there, but I guess it depends on the personality. I have no faith in the Giants, personally. I don't. And as you know, I said this early in the season. And they ran off some wins, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, what can I say? I still have no faith in the Giants. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Yeah, give me Taylor Heineke any day of the week over Daniel Jones. I'm just giving you my score prime. I'm going Washington 25 prime. Washington 25 and the Giants 17. I feel like a lot of points, but yes, 25-17.
Will Taylor Heineke add to the Jordan collection today? You know about that, right?
What's that about?
So Taylor Heineke, for every victory start that he gets $125,000 bonus. And what he's done, starting with, of course, he did it with your Eagles.
He started with the Eagles.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Okay, I understand.
Well, I know he bought a pair. So every time that he wins a football game, he gets a pair of Jordans and get them made with the colors of the team that he beat.
Word?
Yep. So will he get some new Jordans today? That's gonna be funny. See if he can get the blue. What do you get? Blue and red joints, whatever.
Wow.
He's gonna get a lot of help, man. He's gonna get a lot of help. That front line of Washington is real. Ron Payne, Jonathan Allen, real as they come. I just saw that actually Chase Young may be back in some capacity today. They said they were going to warm him up, but I'm seeing reports that they're expecting him to go as of this show anyway. So that defense is coming. The Giants have been up and down. Their problem the past couple of weeks, even in wins or losses, has been the injuries they've had. And man, have they had some injuries, especially at the receiving core, defensively, in that secondary. They got a lot of those guys back. And I think this is a pretty even matchup, to be honest with you. And to tell you how even, check this out. Points per game, both of them have been averaging about 19 points a game here lately. Points allowed, 19 for Washington, 21 for the Giants. They're about as even as they come. A lot of stuff on the line today. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, only needs 60 yards, become the sixth wide receiver in NFL history with 50 catches and at least 900 yards in all of their pro seasons. First person to do that. Well, he joins a list of Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Joey Galloway, AJ Green, and in some people's eyes, the GOAT, not Jerry Rice. Randy Moss. So I think he gets that today. But the waters are getting muddy over the NFC East, man. People thinking that everybody gonna make it over there. And that's getting tough. It's getting tough. And I think this game is so even, bro. And the water is so muddy over there. I'm gonna give you something real muddy right now. This game gonna end in a tie.
This man said a tie.
The game, look, I can't pick it, man. This seems like if there was gonna be a game that was gonna be something funny, it will be a tie. Somebody have a chance to actually break the tie, win it with a field goal, go left in overtime, and that's how we end up. I don't know, but maybe a 23-23 or something. But this feel like a tie to me. So I don't know if have we picked a tie on this show ever?
I think I did between two teams that I didn't like either of them. Yeah, it was a terrible game. But yes, I'm not mad at you, Brian. 23-23.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Next up, You have to talk about your people. Because they have a game against the Tennessee Titans today. And, hey, it ought to be a good one. Tennessee, they let me down a little bit last week. I thought they were going to be just a little bit better than they were. We saw some signs in the passing game a little bit, but because we know they don't pass the rock, but they kind of let me down last week. But your boys looking like they back and still out here trying to prove a point that they are the best. What y'all gonna do with them Titans today?
I don't know, Brian. I ain't gonna lie to you. I talked to an Eagles fan yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I ain't even worried about the Titans." Blah blah blah. I'm like, Derrick Henry, 18th best rush defense. Hold it in a mug a couple weeks ago. We saw it on national TV in broad daylight or in broad nightlight. But you're not worried? I'm worried. I'm concerned. The offense hasn't looked crisp like I'd like in 3 weeks, in the last 3 weeks, so 4 weeks ago. Of course, the Washington game was a travesty, and the Colts game was pretty bad as well. We watched that one from B-Dubs during the SBP get-together. And then last week, and it turned out to be a dub, but I'm just like, it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't as crisp as I hoped it would be. Nevertheless, I mean, it's you know it's Bird Gang all day. I don't like the fact that the Titans have found a couple receivers that they are spreading the ball out to a little bit. Don't like that. Although pass defense is crispy, no CJ, so I'm a little unhappy. But I'm going Eagles. Shocker. I'm going Eagles in a close one. I'm going to say 26-22. Let's change that. 27-23. 27-23.
There'll be our people up here. Bernice, what's good? Don't give up hope. Don't drink too early. I mean, hey, or you can.
Hey, dang. Go ahead. I'm just reading.
I'm just shouting out. Bernice said she's stopping in. You know, we appreciate you. It's going to get better. Your Tar Heel's going to get better. That's what it's going to be. LSU still going to make a bowl game. Y'all going to be okay. Y'all going to be okay. Everything is going to be all right. Let me see.
I'd say everything's not going to be all right. But, keep hope alive.
Hey, we appreciate you, Bernice, no doubt. Hey, this one, I got the Eagles too in this one. Look, the Tennessee let me down last game. I know my man's church ain't trying to hear that. And what's starting to scare me is that Derrick Henry really ain't been all that great the last 3 weeks. I think he's averaging maybe right at or right up under 3 yards a carry, maybe like 2.8, 2.9 the last 3 weeks. Teams are really stacking the box, not worried about the passing game. And I think, the Eagles got those horses. If you look at a lot of their stops, as always, they penetrate the line well. They catch cats in the backfield before they get going. And I think that's where the problem lies. Plus, you guys are playing at home. And I know we talked about last week about who was the MVP, and you and I both on the same page about Patrick Mahomes. But, man, that performance last week from Jalen Hurts, I think he heard our show. He was like, yo, bro, hold on, player.
He was wilding 100 yards in the first quarter on the ground.
Yeah. They continue that today. Him and Miles Sanders get straight busy. Eagles win this game 28-16.
I appreciate your confidence in our defense.
Man, no choice. It's real. It's real. All right. Next up, a lot of interest on this one. And I'm interested as well, even though it ain't one of my squads. But this is going to be a good one. Don Mosley, JB, my guys. Was good. I know y'all been waiting on this one. I saw JB comment. I saw Don putting posts out early today. This is shaping up to be a very, very good one, man. And what you think about this one, bro?
This is going to be fun. Another one. So many games. So many. Man, thank God for red zone. TGFR.
You either got to be in a sports bar today, or you better have red zone. This is crazy.
Yeah, if you're in a sports bar, you're gonna be spinning around in the chair trying to watch all the TVs because it's going down early and often throughout the day. I'm excited about this game. I mean, it's great offense versus great defense. The interesting part is there aren't too many teams that look like Miami offensively. To me, there's not too many teams with could be number ones, possibly, might be a stretch. Could be number ones on both sides. They put up number one numbers on both sides. Solid at the tight end, well, decent at the tight end, solid at the running back. And Tua has spread the ball all over the field wherever it needs to be. And yet, still record-breaking numbers or, big numbers looking forward to possibly breaking records for Tyreek Hill.
The cheetah.
How is that possible? That's crazy, especially when you look at Waddle's numbers. You're like, ain't but one football, bro. But the other side of that thing is the San Francisco defense that has been outrageous, especially in the second half of the last 4 games or so.
So y'all been good. They've been lights out.
Yeah, they've been like shut down, giving up 3 points in the second half, type action. And I'm not mad at it. I love to see it. Then you got the whole run DMC thing happening over there on the offensive side. Jimmy G he's not making any 49er fans believers because they're just not going to believe. It don't matter what that man could throw 500 yards 3 weeks straight, and they would still be like, you know what? I don't like him. He is not my guy. So regardless of what he does, they're still not going to be happy with his performance. But the weapons have been getting it done. And like we already said, great defense. This is going to be fun, man. I might have to shut everything down at 4:00 and just be focused on this one right here.
Ain't no might in it. You're going to have to, man. Very interesting. Like I say, that defense of the Niners is real. But let's give props where props is due. Nobody's talking about Tua. You understand? In his last 16 starts, the man is 14-2. Undefeated this season in the games that he started. And you remember this a few short weeks ago, we were talking about folks who were like, man, he shouldn't even come back after that injury. They said the third, they need to sue, they need to do that. No, why is he back? Obviously, he was back. I mean, he was ready to come back.
Hold on, Brian. Hold on. Did you say Tua is undefeated in the games he started this season?
Yep.
I did not realize that.
Yep.
Wow.
Doing his thing.
Wow.
Game that he started and finished. Yeah. Yep. They've won. So he's been straight nasty, man. Out here, and he's been on the tear here lately. The one thing that concerns me for both teams, more so Miami than San Francisco, is I was watching early and they had a tarp on the field and it was raining a little bit. And they say it could rain for a while over the day, so it could get kind of sloppy. JB said this is a Super Bowl preview, possibly.
Who do you think that's hurting more?
Who it hurts more?
Yeah.
I think it hurts Miami.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, granted, I'm not saying it's going to hurt, but if I look at this, if you're going to, don't get me wrong, both of them can run the football, right? Both of them can run the football, but I know with that offense and what San Francisco tries to do, I think it favors them a little bit more than it does Miami.
I feel you.
And I understand that those DBs might have to try to keep up with Waddle and also with Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to have to make the cuts in that weather too, right? I mean, in that ground too. So we'll see. Break out the long cleats. So the both of them got to deal with it. Both teams got to play in it. But yeah, JB said this is possibly a Super Bowl preview right here. We've got the fans. Someone said that the fans ain't making it past the AFC Championship. What we got right here? Cheetah is walking in the Lions Den today. I know that's got to be done.
Nope, it's not actually.
You sure?
Is
Don,
it?
that got to be done. Let me look. That's done.
Nah. Okay. Yeah, my screen said my screen is wilding. My screen is wilding. I thought it was the other person that said that. Okay. But yeah, I see you done.
Shout out to brother Justin Upshaw. Hey, I just want to warn my guys though, and y'all know, those my guys, man. No doubt. I had so much fun kicking it with them at the meetup a couple of weeks ago, man. But our Niner guys, JB and Don, I want y'all to be careful because you remember the conversation we had last week about the Saints game. Y'all was assuring me y'all was gonna beat the brakes off of these people, and I kept asking you, were you sure? And I know I said you guys sure 4 or 5 times. And y'all was sure and fired up, and y'all beat them, and y'all shut them out. What was the score, like 13-0?
Yeah.
Told you people's gonna play y'all tough, man. Y'all got to be careful now. A win is a win, but I'm just saying.
A win is a win.
But you playing against a better opponent today, at least offensively. But the Niners are real, man. You mentioned that Run DMC thing. Yeah, when they do what they can do, you're not stopping it, man. It's like that, and that's the way it is. You feel me? Like that's just how it goes down. And I think they're gonna have to impose their will today. I've gone back and forth on this one. I can see either team winning this game. It's a toss-up. But just for the factors that I mentioned to you earlier, I'm going to stick with the Niners in a close one, maybe 26-24. But be very cautious, Niner fans, because you play who's on your schedule. I will fight that in the hill. Just like I stuck up for Philly. Yeah, I did it because right is right. Stuck up for my boys. But be very careful. Even though I believe that defense is real, the past few weeks, right? We talk about offenses that had problems that team dominated against. The Saints offense, the Cardinals offense, Caesar's Chargers. Let's be real, they ain't been looking all that good, only in spurts. And the Rams, right? The last time they played a real offense, they gave up 44 points. Do you know who that was to?
Who?
Mahomes.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Now, I ain't saying two of Mahomes or nothing, but I'm just telling you, but y'all just be very, very, very careful.
That man said, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Steve, go ahead, bro. You see that?
Low voltage charges.
Low voltage charges. But interesting. But I got the Niners winning this game. 26-24.
26-24. Fair enough. Just for a little controversy. Even though I think the Niners are the best team in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
I think they're the best team in the NFC. You said 26-24.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just have to be mad today. I think Tua gonna light y'all up.
Woo!
I think Tua gonna light y'all up to the tune of like about 345 in the air. 33-24 Miami. Write it down. 33-24 Miami. I don't care if y'all mad.
I just want to go on record. I'm not playing both sides of the fence because I've made my pick. I would not be surprised if that happened, though. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm sticking with my pick.
And I think I'm being generous with the 24.
Somebody got a question for you.
Yep.
That's Steve.
I do. Pound for pound, round for round, I think they're the best team in the NFC. Now, what does that mean in the playoffs? Nothing, especially when they have to leave the crib. But man for man, I think San Francisco is the best squad in this moment overall.
And before we move on, Don just wanted to give you a message. I'm just delivering the mail. Right?
He is he not? Oh, you mean he's not going that hard today?
This is Don right here.
That what you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Don too?
It's Don right there.
Oh, was that Don on the first one?
On the first one? Oh, nah.
Oh, okay. And him.
We'll go back to that other one.
Well, I mean, I said that I'm worried about that man. I did say I'm worried about that man. So if that happens, I won't be surprised.
No, right there, that's Justin. Justin,
you said two. You said Tua isn't going that hard. I assume you mean today. Tua's not going that hard. Just throwing this out there. I just glanced at it. But 69.7% completion percentage, and we know he's throwing that joint down the field, even though y'all said the man couldn't throw down the field. 19 touchdowns, 3 picks. Yeah. What? He isn't what? Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And it's a family feud going on. You might have to go put out a fire when we get off this thing. That's Steve.
Well, I mean, I can't argue with my cousin / fellow Eagles fan with the Bird game, but we'll agree to disagree for the moment.
Yeah, I learned to stay out of family business, so I'm gonna get up out there.
Respect.
Let's go on down here. We got 2 games left that we picking off of this crazy slate today. So what we are gonna do is this.
Oh, you keep going, Prime. But I just want to say it again: 33-24 Miami. Miami Dolphins over the San Francisco 49ers, 33-24. I just want to say it again. That's all.
You know what time it is.
Woo, boy.
This is the one right here. I mean, all of them are the one, but this one right here, we have a game against 2 of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And we have a game, 2 of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Like all these years, we were blessed with having Brady and Peyton Manning. And then there was some other matchups. Tyler Boyd said this is what these 2 remind them of. And how you feel about these quarterbacks? How you feel about this matchup?
I love this matchup, especially when we look back to last year and how things went down late in the season between these 2. It's exciting. Don't call it a comeback. Joe Burrow and the boys acting like they want to do something as of late, especially thinking about last week. I really had them taking that L to Tennessee. I think you did too. Had them taking that L to Tennessee last week, and they fought and came out with the dub. Not that Burrow did anything crazy. It was like under 300 passing yards and 1 passing TD, but they were able to maintain and drive late and come out with the win, which is all that really matters in the long run. When I look at that other side, I think of the words of Mark Jackson. I think it's Mark Jackson. Mama, there goes that man. God dang. I have stated multiple times this season that I thought that the loss of Tyreek Hill was going to be a big deal. Now, I'm not saying it don't matter at this point. I said it all season. But the fact that Mahomes was able to adjust his game and spread that joint out, spread the ball out, as opposed to 17 targets for one man and 13 targets for another man. Now he's got to go 8, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, across the board. So, and he's made it work. He's made it work with a subpar. I would say subpar running game. He's made it work. The symmetry between Mahomes, I guess Mahomes, Bieniemy, and the great Andy Reid. Like you can't fight it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, Prime. This is gonna be a barn burner. Although I did say that I would watch Miami and San Francisco before I watch this game, and I'm not changing that fact. If it came down to it, and I can only watch one game, it would be Miami and San Francisco today.
Okay, fair enough.
But I do expect some entertainment from this one. I think it's gonna be a little lower scoring than the average person might say. And I still have Kansas City sneaking out of there with the dub, 27-24.
Interesting game, because you mentioned the last time that these two teams played and what happened with Joe Burrow working that magic. Did you forget they beat them twice last year?
True.
Cincinnati won both meetings last year when they played, so it's like Mahomes ain't beat this dude. You feel me? And this is a dude that's getting his homeboy back today. They believe that Chase is probably going to play. And do you remember what happened last time Chase played against his team?
I mean, did he have 200 receiving yards? I don't remember.
That was the infamous 200 and I believe 66. And all through the SBP fan pages, they were talking about the various fantasy leagues and who just got dumped by one player. You know what I'm saying? Some people's playoff fate was decided by Chase right there on that one day in week 17. It's crazy, and it's crazy he's coming back for this particular game. Bengals know how to play the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to give you something else that's astonishing, right? Astounding. In the two games they played last year, the Bengals outscored Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the second half 34-6 in the two games. So Mahomes would get out in a fast start. The Bengals work some magic. We work some things. In the words of Chuck D, we shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes this even more interesting, man. Chiefs come in with the top scoring offense in the league right now. The Bengals have found a way to win football games without Mixon and without Chase. P. Ryan lighted up one week. T. Higgins get busy the next. The defense is starting to round out where they're actually getting pressure up front. And that's the scary part, because when teams have been able to slow down Patrick Mahomes is when they could only have to rush 4 players. Everybody's sitting back and eating up the underneath stuff where he can't find Travis Kelce or none of these other guys can get in there and get busy. So this is going to be an interesting game. I got to still ride with my guy, though. He's sitting there at 9-2, never beaten Joe Burrow. I think the time is now. But I agree with you. You know, I think back in the day, you and I might have been sitting back calling this one, man, this is going to be 40-38 or 40-30. I don't even have it that high. I think it'll be a lot of chess matches going on. Even if somebody scores early, you know, they'll try to figure out how to neutralize the other. But I'm also going to give Kansas City a 3-point win. I'm going to take the Chiefs 30-27 in a highly entertaining game. And, yeah, just about which QB can get it done, man.
Good times.
No doubt. When somebody says Bengals get the upset here,
That's Justin.
I think that's Justin. Justin, what is it an upset? Because granted, I understand that the Chiefs are 9-2 and the Bengals are 7-4. But once again, Burrow swept these people last year. So I guess it's got about a number, I guess.
And they at the crib.
Yeah, the game's in Cincinnati. So is it really an upset? I don't know.
It's probably even. I didn't look at the odds.
And I did see the line, and I forgot what the line was.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty close to even.
Yeah, so somebody gonna have to make it happen up front. Chris Jones, it's your day. It's your day. You know, a lot of times we see Chris Jones on TV. That's when he shines. So he's gonna have to get out of Burrow, but get after Burrow for him to have a shot to win this thing. Because Burrow ain't gonna just lay down. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with my guys. My guy, Mahomes by 3. They said Vegas would say otherwise. So okay, I'm going by Vegas.
True. Okay. I mean, it's Kansas City. Kansas City by 2.5.
2.5. That's what it was. So we gonna see. We are going to see. We got one game left on the schedule, and it's a game. One or two other games we could have picked, but we chose this game. No, matter of fact, before I do that, I do want to see this. I don't know. Did you see this? Since we talking about Mahomes,
I did not. Where did this come from?
Mahomes
Patrick
put
Mahomes.
out his Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks.
Okay.
And he has Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and John Elway. And the reason I found this interesting was really for one particular reason. And can you guess what it is?
You're trying to figure out which one of these guys Mahomes is going to replace on that Mount Rushmore.
Oh, no, I ain't think about that. But he's going to end up out there. So let it be clear. He's going to end up on, somebody got to go. It's about to happen. Right. But at some point, he will be on this Mount Rushmore. So make no mistake about that. Now, it caught my eye, not because you know how fond I am of Patrick Mahomes, but the fact that he has John Elway on this list. And the reason I say that, I don't know if you remember when we first started this, I think we were even still with Big G. And I said that I've always argued that John Elway should be in the discussion. A lot of people would talk me down. You know, oh, this, that, and the third. He only took this to win this many Super. It took him forever to win the Super Bowl. He had to get a running game and all that. And I remember, and I'm always tell people, well, those of us old enough to remember watching him play, to do what he did to even get them to those Super Bowls. You know, there wasn't a team blessed with a lot of Pro Bowl or Hall of Fame offensive players, right? But year after year, with the Vance Johnsons and the Ricky Natils. Yeah, this guy was on it with the different running backs. Now, granted, they didn't win it until they got Terrell Davis, right? But he's out there with the Humphreys and the Jacksons. Names you really wouldn't know unless you go pull up the roster.
Right.
And we know Atwater would knock you out in the Mecklenburg, but you really didn't know a whole lot of other people, right? The things that this guy did to make this team a perennial Super Bowl contender, even though he lost the 3, were amazing. And to be fair, at least 2 of those, they probably weren't going to win anyway. When they got to the Super Bowl, we talking about those Niner teams, and Washington was pretty good. But I just thought it was interesting because I hardly ever see anybody put John Elway on their list nowadays. And me personally, I think he deserves to be there. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes for us at least being on the same page. Same way.
He said he going with all rings. He said if it don't mean a thing if you ain't got no ring. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, somebody said Marino better than Elway, barely. Okay, that's how you feel. And I'm not saying I disagree with you. All right, yes. Marino was that dude. We know. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old head. I seen it. But what I'm just saying is Elway does not, regardless of what I might think of his possible other beliefs of political and all that stuff, which I don't get to, on the field, that dude was as raw, as much of a warrior as any quarterback I've ever seen. Dude was tough, bro. He was tough. In the real age of football, when you always talk about stuff soft now, you can't touch nobody, can't do nothing. Yeah, this was dude getting hit in the face, slung down by his face mask, you know, throwing the football on the run while he's running for his life, and was accurate throwing it on the run a lot of the times, with basically no real Pro Bowlers offensively other than Terrell Davis, right? Which people debated at first, should he be in, but it is what it is. But I just like it.
Respect. Shout out to Warren Moon, just throwing it out there.
Oh, for sure. All right. Let's get into this last game of the day. And it's a game a lot of years we would look at and say, yep, this is it. Doesn't quite hold the same type of glamour, but we do have to get in here and talk about the Chargers and the Raiders because, of course, the Chargers are the Chargers still trying to fight to get in it. The Raiders, as of late, have shown some signs of life, especially last week, man. What you think about this one?
First of all, I gotta say, shout out to Jalen Elliott. I did not even realize that he was on the practice squad for the Raiders, but he got scooped up by the Raiders recently and is on the practice squad. I saw some pictures of him. His dad sent them to me on yesterday, and I had no idea. So shout out to Jalen. Yeah, the Raiders have come alive. I know the Raider fans are like, why y'all want to come alive now? Why y'all ain't do that at first? Like, what y'all was waiting for? Um, does this mean that we're okay with the coach? Raider fans? Are there any Raiders fans in here today? I haven't seen anybody. I don't think.
I haven't seen anybody yet.
Okay, so the Chargers are who we thought they were. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I said at the beginning of the season they was gonna win the division. So I guess they're not who I thought they were.
Bad choice, so it's bad choice. But anyway,
it's funny that I think back to last week and I can remember a certain Chargers fan saying that Justin Herbert was not good.
he's in his feelings.
You think?
He's in his feelings.
Okay, so I should take that with a grain of salt. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, anybody that was be this close to getting muted for 24 hours in the group, you should just pay it no mind.
Got you. Well, Austin Eckler is not unhappy. He don't care what's going on. Feed me Seymour is what that man said. I mean, I don't even know what his numbers looked like last week. They're probably down a little bit actually, because let's see, everybody else got in the end zone. Keenan Allen got in the end zone. Shoot, multiple. Wait, when is this game? This game's at 4:25. Yeah, 4:25. Okay. Let me see what Eckler's numbers look like. Yeah, 15, 16. So he only had 16 touches last week. He only ran the ball 5 times. That's crazy. He only got five rushing attempts last week. That's pretty wild. Meanwhile, on the other side, we saw a breakout effort by Josh Jacobs. Not that he hasn't played well in different games, especially early during the season. I think he had 3 games where he was over $140 on the ground in a row, 3 in a row. Early in the season, but he went for 229 on last week, 2 touchdowns, including the what was it, 80 yards? 86-yard walk-off touchdown run. Yeah, so shout out to Josh. Still getting a little bit of our guy who probably still wishes he was in Green Bay, but 7 catches, 74 yards for Devontae last week. This is going to be fun. And I know I already said that I picked the Chargers to win a division. Clearly, that is not going to happen. I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible, according to Kevin Garnett. But, yeah, unlikely. I got the Raiders in the upset. In a barn burner shootout type game. 36-31, the Raiders.
Herbert, 19 TDs. Carr, 18 TDs. Both 7 INTs on the year. Very similar numbers.
Yep.
And when we're talking similar, I also see this very similar to last week's game with the Raiders and the Seahawks. Lots of points. But yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers. 37-33 in this one. The Chargers, looks like they'll get some of their receivers back or have them another week healthy. I still haven't seen anything on Mike Williams, whether or not he was going to play or not, but they've got enough of the weapons.
He's out.
He is out? Yeah, so I'm going to stick with the Chargers, though. I can't see Jacobs having, especially with his – well, we don't know how injured he really is because I just got the alert. They say that now he's definitely going to play. When he's been questioned, they expected him to play, but how healthy is he? I don't know about another 229-yard game, but if you get it, I ain't mad. Caesar, stay off of Facebook if that goes down. But I think the Chargers are going to win it. Not the division, as you predict. They'll win this game. Chiefs win the division, so. And that is it. That's all I got. Great day of football is upon us. I cannot wait. They're showing Tua on my screen. Let's go. Today is going to be so fire.
So fire. The whack part, I can't go live. As I mentioned earlier, lives are part of my life. The wild part is I got some days off this week. And if I can't go live with my days off this week, I'm snapping. I'm breaking stuff. I ain't gonna. Okay, I was gonna say something that might have been funny. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get banned from Facebook too. Like I have nowhere to go. Have to talk to my family more.
Shoot, what else? You got anything else for the people out here, bro?
No, hey, did you were no, you were there. You were there last live, right? You was there for the
Rock,
Criminal Minded and Paid in Full.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Did you stay around for the second one?
I was at the beginning.
Liquid Swords and Only Built for Cuban Links.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was fun. I really hope to get back to that if and when they reinstate this capability.
I think I was stoned for the first three.
Okay.
And then I had to bounce because I had to take care of something else for somebody, so I didn't see the end of it. But I voted for the first three.
Well, that was fun. I'd have an interview. I don't know if y'all remember the name. You should remember the name. Domingo, producer, hip hop producer. Domingo produced the MC for KRS-One. Like his list of accolades is crazy. Supposed to interview him on Wednesday. Hopefully, that goes through without a problem. Also, for those who are just passing through or those who might care, I wrote a book. Yeah, I wrote a book. I'm about to drop that joint. I'm trying to get the cover straight, but I'm about to drop that joint. Hopefully, it'll be done in time for Christmas. But yeah, short book, nothing crazy. Called Shorts from Source, and yeah, hopefully you'll see that pretty soon.
All right, and I ain't got nothing going on for real. Just work, man. I will say though, and I know I done said this a billion times. You can call me a liar because I feel like I've been lying. It's just I ain't had the time. I have been working on the t-shirt and hat. Now I ain't saying I'm gonna put them out there for y'all to buy because I don't care, y'all might not want them. But just something to keep me busy. I might just get it and get source one, and we just look good in them. If you decide you want to buy one, I might think about it. But I'm working on that. And by the first of the year is next month, so by the first of the year, I will be straight. But it is what it is, though. But I appreciate everybody checking out the SBP, all the comments, the kind words, even sometimes the not so kind words.
Right.
But it's all good. It's all good. And I appreciate, once again, all of you and your feelings about Deion Sanders and all that. I hope your day gets better. I hope somebody gives you a hug and some warm milk and all that stuff, and
not the warm milk
tucks you into bed, and things will be better. Ooh, child. Yeah, you'll be all right.
I don't know if he's saying y'all are old people or cats.
They're just crybabies, man. They whine all the time. Yeah. So it is what it is. But appreciate y'all. We're gonna break out here till next time and see you on the page later today. Let's go.